Yeah, we've got a transmission coming in.
10-4.
Yeah, Brian, it's looking more and more like the Arizona Coyotes of the National Hockey League will be relocating to Utah next season.
Players and management has been told they are on their way. They will play next season in Salt Lake City.
The state is a sports state, which leads me to this.
Yes, it is. Welcome in live to the Delta Center. It is time to meet Utah's NHL franchise.
I'll answer it for him for the umpteenth time.
What?
That's right. Welcome back to the Puck Drop Podcast. I am Cole, the NHL Music Man Chapman. I'm here with Lieutenant Dangle D, Dustin Edgington, and we also have our third guest, Bill McCloud, Utah Outliers manager.
General. I'm the
GM?
game operations manager.
Game operations manager.
I do a lot of stuff for the Outliers.
Yeah,
so
and we are here. We are live in the studio, having a great time. We are brought to you by Hockey Stops. Don't forget that. That is Hockey Stops with a Z. I feel like maybe we say it and people are like, hockey STOPS? No,
it's right behind
it's with a Z. So make sure you check that out. Big news from them, actually. They are getting a new shop in Logan.
Yeah, I saw that opening.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So that's exciting for them. Good job, Corey. Good job, Hockey Stops. Make sure you keep supporting. And that's a big community up there too, right?
Absolutely.
Logan area.
Huge,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure you check them out. Let's dive in, Destin.
Let's go. Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Bill
You wanna
McCloud.
dive
So I'd like to say something first.
Go ahead.
Can I just say, like, you guys are doing it right? The third time's a charm, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey, perfect.
You're not wrong.
Lucky number, man.
Lucky 13.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you sign something when we leave. So
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I actually have a signature. People ask me for my autograph
Hey,
every
no,
once in a while.
and we forgot
well,
to
that's
do
hard
that.
to come by nowadays, but
Yeah, we always forget to do that, and we need to get a photo too.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So Bill, let's hear your story, man. That's what we're about. We just want to hear people's stories. That's what this podcast is all about. We want to grow this community, hear about the community,
I
and
want to say I'm excited to have him here because after so long, I'm so terrible with names. And
now he knows.
walking in through the door, and I'm like, Bill.
I know
and
you.
we're like, hey, how are you? You know,
I probably refed a few years.
absolutely. You know,
I'm the
sorry
old
for
fart
being a
around.
butthead, but
Yeah. It's all good. We leave it on the ice, right?
absolutely. There you go.
Gosh, my story. Holy
Where'd
cow.
you get started, man?
From the beginning, like when I fell in love with hockey?
I mean,
you know,
all of it.
Yeah.
Of course,
All of
for
it.
me, it was
If we want to go back
all of
70
it.
years,
Oh,
no,
right?
I'm just kidding.
You're right. There you go. There's
Are you
the old,
are you talking to
there's
me?
the old jokes.
Are you talking to me?
I'm the old guy in the room.
Are you talking to me?
No, you know, hockey for me, the love, anyway, started for me with the Olympics. You know,
Yeah.
in 1980, watching the Miracle on Ice, and
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful. Wow.
That moment for me, like I was, a little kid watching TV.
Well,
I think I was
better.
9 years old, and gosh, I mean, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. But
I do too.
when I watch the movie Miracle, or whenever every year I do a show, I remember, kind of a memorabilia show about it, and we played that last minute where, do you believe in miracles?
I
You know,
know.
like
You're
I have
not
goosebumps
wrong.
on my legs now talking
Yeah.
about it. It's just a memorable moment for me.
Yeah.
And that's when I fell in love with hockey, and
Without a doubt.
and then the Wayne Gretzky's and the Felix Potvins and all the stuff afterwards. It's just kind of all history in between until I got to Utah. So,
And you got to Utah in what year?
89.
Where were you? Where are you from?
I wasn't even a thought of in my dad's head.
No, you weren't.
The thought that he farted, but he shit his pants is what it was.
Right? My mom married a great guy. He was in the military, and so
Yeah.
we moved around quite a bit, my stepdad, and we wound up here in Utah. He retired here, and I went into the Air Force from here. So
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you for your
Hill.
service.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
I was
you.
just going to say.
Absolutely.
I was up at Hill for 4 years, and there's at the time there was very little hockey here.
Yeah.
We had the Golden Eagles, I think, at the time, and we had. That was about it. We had there was the Bountiful Rink.
Yep, the
and
bubble.
The bubble.
The bubble.
I remember that place. So
Yep.
cold.
Oh, me
Go
too.
there.
There
No,
wasn't.
they refurbished that.
Yeah, there wasn't a rink in
Oh, the
Ogden.
bubble was-
Oh, gotcha.
There was like 2 or 3 rinks total in the whole state, and so it was a kind of a dormant. But to be a hockey fan at that point in time and live in Utah was kind of discouraging. You're like, where's the hockey?
Yeah,
So,
right. Like I don't have any friends that have similar interests.
and what's kind of cool though is when you're a hockey fan like that, you I guess a little bit like people are like, well, hockey, well, come do this, do you want to come do that? And so you get involved in so many different ways. I've worn so many hats in Utah in hockey. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I've been general manager of a college team. I officiated for 11 years. I've coached.
And thank you for that too.
Players,
and billeting as well. That's huge.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to billeting.
Yeah.
And that goes over any state of Utah. Hockey's growing. It's going to happen. Billet family, explain that to us, please.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
going to say hockey for dummies over here. I'm the dummy. Explain.
No, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
right
Guys
there.
like Trevor Lewis, Tisha Ginla, he just came from a billet family where he was recruited from. So the billet program, so these players, they come from all over the world. They really do, and they come away from their families so that they can progress their hockey career. Wow. And
so it's like a working abroad type
you're
of
basically,
thing almost, but in
you're
sports.
They're playing hockey.
No, it's basically so
Not working, but yeah.
If we're going for dummies in layman's terms,
Yeah.
not to disrespect anybody, but you're basically the landlord to these kids, and you take care of them, and you get paid to take care of them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
there's a lot of background with that
Yeah.
that has to go into place that makes sure that you can actually do that and it's appropriate. They have to have jobs. They have to have certain different aspects in
and
place. And
so I'm actually the housing
like, it's-
coordinator for the Utah Outliers as well. So I find all these kids homes, and so
No way. That is so cool.
We find them families, is what we
Yeah.
like to call
Right,
them. So
right.
they're homes away from homes. So that's the
and-
environment we like to create for these players.
and that's literal families. It really is because like they come in, they're amazing.
You get attached to them. They're good
Yeah.
kids.
I mean, hey, me and
Absolutely.
my wife, we don't have kids. I don't know if we can even have kids. So send them on up.
I might take you up.
Seriously though, I was just gonna say, you want to make a little extra?
It's funny. It's funny being the housing coordinator. My conversations with people for the last 3 years started like, "Hey, my name's Bill McCloud. Do you have an empty room in your
Yeah.
house?" And so you strike up conversations even
Yeah.
like around billeting. It's hard to find families. It's hard
It
to find
is. It
people
is.
to commit to taking a 17, 18, even a 20-year-old player in their home.
Absolutely.
It's a huge commitment.
Well, and especially when there's a language barrier,
sometimes, yeah,
and sometimes it kind of. But at the end of the day, it's like anybody can work around that,
for sure. And
and that's what the community and camaraderie and everything that goes with it is all about.
one
Like
of the
there's
things
so
I
much
think-
that goes into it.
One of the
everything,
things I
so.
think is really the misconception of it is hockey players are known for partying and fighting
Yeah.
and stuff. These boys are nothing like that.
No, they're there for a
hard
reason.
workers.
They're career
and-
minded.
Well, anybody can say that, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like
Yeah.
they're young and they want something.
Yeah.
Like
They're-
there's that. Yeah,
They're well groomed
They're driven.
kids.
They're driven.
They're polite.
Yeah.
They're respectful. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
No, ma'am.
Yep.
They clean up their plates after dinner.
just like
yeah.
Slovakia came here when I was young.
Yeah.
And that was a huge hit. And we billeted 3 of them. Vlado, Stanzik, Lubo. I mean, shout out if you ever watched
Yeah.
this. And we just play shinny hockey and just,
Yeah.
whatever. And I
They're
mean,
fun to
very
have around.
respectful, hard to understand, but you knew the circumstances of
Yeah.
like respect. Like, you're not going to throw somebody through a wall.
Yeah, for sure.
And they went out and kicked our ass. Excuse my language. 11-1. But I did
Yeah.
get the only goal on a wraparound, so
There you go.
we didn't get shut out. So.
There's
Destin's like, there's 1 minute left. What do I need to do?
go score a goal.
Finally,
All right, wraparound time.
What do they call
eighth liner over here, and I
What do they
went
call
and
it, that?
stuffed one.
the Cleveland? Is that what they call it when they stuff it up in the?
I didn't do that. I didn't
Cleveland,
even know that
Cleveland,
existed. I didn't even know that exists. I just did a wraparound
Yeah, that's a whole
at
nother
the oval.
conversation.
Yeah. Keep going.
We
Keep
can
going.
go down.
We kind of astray on
Yeah,
things,
I know.
but
But no, billeting's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity not only for people to like let someone from another, but it really is an extension of your family. When they leave,
Without a doubt.
I still have kids that call and wish me happy birthday, happy
That is so
birthday,
cool, honestly. I
from
love that.
Israel, from
Yeah.
Finland, from
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's crazy that the relationships you build. And I keep telling them my only rule with these kids is when you're in the NHL, I have a standing ticket at will call. Like, just remember, you ate all my damn food.
When you're in the Stanley Cup,
you're a growing young man, and I know exactly how that works.
you ate
Yeah.
all my food, so you get a ticket to the game when you make it. So
That's so real, though. No,
a box suite.
and you know what though? Like even just if they don't, like you're a good man for that.
That is
it's-
cool.
And if you can accommodate for any of that, do it.
Yeah, for sure. My wife is the one that actually drives a little bit of it. She was hesitant at first, but this year I says, "Hey, we're only taking one, and we have 3." So,
Oh, there you go.
so
cool.
I have a very nice, a very forgiving wife. She's supported me in
Well,
the spirit,
and
so-
that's awesome. I mean, you can't ask.
My
for
wife
more.
is that way too.
Yeah,
So let's.
the best-
I've got some hurdles to get over before I could commit to that, but
yeah.
So, I might be open to that.
I'm grateful
not
she
even kidding.
supports all of
Yeah.
my stuff with the Outliers. I mean, I spend hours and hours and hours on working for the Outliers and doing stuff, and so, and she's very patient. So
and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is that what you do for a living then?
No, it's not actually. So I own a company that the easiest way to explain it is it's like AAA for trucking. So the big rigs on the side of the roads, they get broken down.
Okay, cool.
My company, I have several companies that use my company to, we're like
Like
AAA.
outsource.
We go,
Give it a shout out. What's the name of it?
Uptime Elite.
All
When are
right,
you going to
there we
sponsor
go.
us?
when I start making money. No,
So,
yeah.
So how'd you get involved with the Utah Outliers?
You know, that's an interesting kind of scenario. So I'd taken a break from hockey for a while after I was the GM for Weber State. It takes a toll on you. It's a 50-hour-a-week job, and they don't pay. You know, it's a volunteer position. And I took a break from hockey and officiating for a little while, and I just played. And you know, a couple of friends of mine, Frank Conti and Mitchell Slott, they were the broadcast announcers at the time for the Outliers, and it all started with, we need a camera guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they knew my background like as much. And so I was like,
Do you know how to push a button?
yeah. I think I can run a camera.
Which one?
You know,
Which button?
I can do a camera. And then they didn't have a PA announcer one game.
Yeah.
And, you know, I says, well, I used to PA announce. And of course, everybody says that, you know, and they're like, oh, I've done it before. And then you get on a mic and you're like, what the hell was that? You
As
know?
long as you're not illiterate, you'll be all right.
And so Paul Taylor's like, well, we don't have anybody. Go ahead. And so I sat down and I announced, and the first goal I announced, he looked over at me like,
We got
where
our
the hell
guy.
have you been?
We got our guy.
So I became the PA announcer.
How many years ago was this?
About 4 years ago.
Okay,
4
cool.
years. Halfway through the season, I started. So, and then after that, I was like, you can't ever leave the Outliers. And so, but of course, I've got a lot of, you know, I've eased into kind of doing. I have a lot of skill sets when it comes to back office operations and
Well, yeah,
game
and it's
operations
all about
and-
building relations and you know being.
Yeah, and so
You know,
I
I
wear a
love
lot
that.
of hats with the Outliers, and it's mostly just because I see a need, and I feel
Yeah.
like I'm one of
And
those guys. Like, oh,
hard
I can
worker.
do that.
Yeah.
I can
Absolutely.
do that. And so I've become a pretty, you know, a pretty big part of the organization, and it's I'm kind of back where I was like with Weber. So I play a huge role, like in a lot of ways, and so
I love it though, and you know, even if you're not recognized, we're going to recognize you now because,
well, thank you.
in all fairness, like nobody knows what happens behind closed doors.
it's hard.
To actually be able to push things forward.
Yep.
And that's huge. That's why we love having this conversation because you know nobody knows what it takes to just and the highlights of stuff. Like let's just for example, like the NHL, where like all of a sudden you see an athletic trainer just take the stick and just
Oh, I know,
hold it
and then they
over,
go
and then they go
score
score a goal with it.
Yeah.
Like knowing what stick out of 50 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of variables that go into
What I
place
love
with
about that, and you know, the NHL is awesome about this. You don't see it in any other sport, but when those guys do stuff like that, the NHL players just go by and they go right to them. They know who supports them.
Yep.
And hockey players have always been genuinely like, they respect you and they, you know, they really
have
are
their
good with, you know, how they treat
Well,
you.
and that also falls into like having their own thing, you know, like it just goes into a category of like a trust. That's a family right there.
It is,
and and then like you know you lose a trainer and they're like, well, I don't know
What do you, like, that guy
what's
knows
going to
what
happen
bubble
now.
gum I like before.
Exactly.
What am I going to do? I'm not going to score a goal.
33-year-old OPG bubblegum?
Exactly.
Is that what
Exactly.
you want to eat some?
I'll eat some if you guys want me to. But,
Do we have any more?
there's
Because
one
I
way.
eat.
That's the OPG right there.
We don't have
know.
any. Those are old.
I walk in and I'm like, gosh,
You don't
please
want that.
don't.
It's the wrong side of Pepto Bismol. I'm
It
telling
is.
you, the wrong side of Pepto Bismol.
You know, so there's a lot of I call them unsung heroes in
Yeah.
hockey. There really is, because none of this can't happen without
Absolutely.
the trainers, the water boys, the
Absolutely.
equipment managers, the guy that sharpens the skates. And what I really like about hockey, the hockey world, especially in the professional world, they know without those people they can't do what they do. And so they're very grateful for them. They treat them well. Especially in the NHL, they pay them well. So it's really good to see that. So
And they're also just the same as away from their families just as much
they
as
are
anybody else.
traveling and things. Yeah.
So the Utah Outliers, they are in what division?
So
what
Is it still NCDC?
It is. So we play in
Still
the
NCDC?
the NCDC, which stands for National College Development. You would put me on the spot.
Yeah, wow.
Anyway,
Hey,
it's a
he
college-
did that to
It's
me one
newer,
time
so-
too.
National College,
Sorry.
College Development. So anyway, I'm going to get Kevin McCloskey's going to roast me for this.
NSHL or
USPHL.
NSHDL?
USPHL. So it's the highest division.
USPHL, yeah.
It's the highest division in USPHL, and its sole purpose is to get visibility and recognition for kids 16 to 20.
Cool.
Is it 20 or 21?
20. The age out
Oh,
at
that's
21.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I thought it was 21. I've been lying to everybody. Sorry.
so there are 21-year-olds that can play, but when they turn 21 in that year,
age-wise.
they age out.
Okay,
So
yeah.
Its sole purpose is to get kids noticed by college scouts, professional scouts.
And and I was gonna say juniors, is it not? No, I
no,
mean, maybe if that
the league
kind of,
we're on,
because you're already in juniors.
NCDC, we're in juniors. It's considered tier 2 junior hockey. They call it like U20 is what we call it. But the level we're on is kind of like similar to the NAL, the NAHL.
Okay.
Similar styles of hockey. The players go back and forth between these two leagues all the time.
Okay.
And so it's the highest level of junior hockey in the country right now.
Absolutely.
And so it's
And it is a blast to watch. It's,
gosh.
it is. It
I mean,
really is.
I can't tell you when the Outliers came,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to reiterate real
No,
quick.
go ahead,
I'm not trying to cut you off because I want to continue this.
yeah.
Went to a game. It was the Outliers. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, that's always a good rival. I'm not going to,
It's amazing.
the Spud Kings.
Well,
I mean, they're fun. They're fun to watch too. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm rolling my eyes.
But you know what I mean. You got north south right here,
yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
And right off the bat, puck drop. No pun. Pun intended,
yeah,
actually.
pun intended, right? Good
And
job.
just all three forwards on the line, gloves dropped,
I was at that
helmets
game,
off.
yeah.
So was I, and just
That's a good time.
fisticuffs,
That's a
baby.
good time.
I mean,
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they shake hands and carry on.
They get off the ice, and then off the ice, they're down below, and
And
they
they'll-
see each other in
they'll
their
chat
suits,
to
and they
each
chat,
other.
and they talk,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get
yeah.
fight, they talk to each other, they see each other, they play each other,
Yeah.
10 times a year, so it's like,
Exactly.
I love the rivalry with the Mustangs. They've got a great program up there, like what they've done with hockey.
And I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just saying, like, it was awesome to see.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Keeping the game of the game, you know?
for sure.
So
And-
you guys are playing in West Valley right now.
We are,
and
at
you
the West
have
Valley
future
Airport.
plans to move to Park City. Is that right?
I know,
Dude,
that'll be
brand
exciting.
New, pretty nice, shiny building
Yeah.
up there.
I know.
That ice
Do you
better
know,
shine.
Do you know
better.
how long until it gets done?
Yes, that's the question of the hour.
Hot button.
The rinks come along pretty well, especially when we wanted it to be done 2 years ago.
Do you know the capacity?
2,500. So it's
That's
gonna
not
be
bad.
Not bad. It's a small.
That's a good one.
I think it's a big enough building that we want to
Attract.
sell out games.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do in Park City. Like they have to come to Salt Lake to do anything.
I know.
At night,
Well, and it's
so-
not like it's that far, depending on where you have to go. But
You talk to them and they think Salt Lake City's like 2 hours away. Like
Yeah.
they're like, there's nothing to do up here. We've had so many people because it's not just going to be a hockey rink. It's going to be an event center. So
okay.
they'll have concerts there and events. There's going to be a wedding venue on scene. It's going to be like a Vegas style kind of.
okay, so
resort.
you're going like rec,
Yeah.
like whole rec.
Yep.
But it's not rec. It's not a.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. It's
and they'll do men's hockey there, so they're going to build locker rooms underneath it. And
Oh,
so
cool.
They'll be able to rent it out for tournaments and stuff. And so
Nice.
the building. That's anybody's question. That's any,
Yeah.
You can tell.
And
me
we don't need to soak on that. I mean,
Well, and not
we're
really.
limited
Sure.
on time here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So speaking of,
even at
I
the
know
end of
you've
the
got
day-
a lot of things that you want to unload, right? And we
He's
talked
all,
before this. I was
"Ask
like,
away."
he's got a lot of things that he still needs to talk about. So
let's go.
Well, we can talk about whatever. It's your show. Tom,
I
let's
mean,
go.
no, well, this show is about you
Ask the
today, buddy.
questions.
Yeah.
I'm asking the questions. So, oh, what was I going to say? You just put me on the spot and I had it
all
rolling.
that build up for that.
Well, no, I'm saying, so in all regard though, like if you've got Park City going on,
Yeah.
what is that going to bring to the community up there? Because I already know
Huge.
that I already know that they have a freaking huge forefront
Yeah.
through the grapevine of what I've heard.
They've got an amazing youth program in Park City, first of
Well,
all.
exactly.
Whenever I do, so I also announce the high school hockey playoff games here in the Valley. And whenever Park City's in a game,
That's so real though.
whenever Park
they're
City's in
getting
a
tough.
If you ever get sick, let me know.
Well, no, hold on. I'm going to cut you off because that's where I'm actually headed now,
Yeah.
and that makes
Yeah.
sense. There's a lot of what people don't understand that like Utah is a huge asset of people like to come here.
yeah,
There's a lot of NHL players that you wouldn't even know about
they live in
that
Park
actually
City.
come up here and live in
Yeah.
Park City during the summer to train
Yep.
in their facility. And so it makes sense of why that facility is being built along with the
Yeah.
Outliers.
Do you remember
And
when they used to do the pro skate up in Park City? It was
Oh,
like a
yeah.
secret thing, and like all the pros would
was
get
all
together.
secret
It was,
for a
and so
while.
you had to get a special
Yeah,
invite to. I got to go,
exactly.
but it was guys
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Luke Robitaille would come up.
Oh,
and do that all the
absolutely.
time. And so
Do they still do it?
no, they stopped doing it.
Well,
about
they
2 or
don't tell
3
you
years
about
ago.
it.
Everybody found out about
No,
it.
they
They're
don't
like,
tell you about it. That's
like,
exactly. Yeah, no. Don't sugarcoat this one,
"All right, we
sweetie.
got to stop. Nobody can know
Nobody can
anymore.
know.
We're poking at the
they
bear
don't
right
do it
now.
anymore.
Uh-huh.
But it was really cool to be in
Yeah.
that intimate
They do.
environment of Park City.
Oh,
and,
I bet.
And watch those guys, a professional
Absolutely.
skate. Like it was
I
so
know.
cool. I've been to a few of those, but Park City's got a huge youth program, and it's an amazing. They're the high school
I've
champions
coached
for
some
like
of
4
them.
years in a row now. Like
Some of them came down to play with
yeah.
us, and I've coached some of them.
I just golfed with a kid that was on the high school team up in Park City.
What was his name?
Dude was hitting. He was out driving me with a 3-iron. I hit my drive. I can smack a ball. Like I hit it 300 yards. He hit it 340 yards with his 3-iron.
What are you doing tomorrow morning?
Yeah. I was like, holy cow. Dude, they're another level
Don't
up
ask
there,
me
man.
to play golf. Yeah, I don't do it. So
I dabble in both.
Yeah. So Park City, it's a good venue. I think it's an amazing choice for Paul Taylor and Kevin McCloskey to pick that city for a junior team because it's just like Idaho Falls.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean,
they've got that building up there.
What about Idaho Falls?
Well, and people, once you hit that level of where you start to see the development at an age group, and I don't care if it starts at 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 is where you're going to get looked at, right? That's usually where you're out of state, which is what we've talked about earlier, where you want to bring it to us.
We want that stuff here.
Yeah.
We want to be able to make NHL players here in Utah.
Exactly. Yeah. But when you get to a level and you start noticing the development that can be transferred to a very competitive level at that young age, 10s, 12s, about 10s is where I'd say.
No, 5. You want to start as early as you can.
Well, no. And I started playing when I was 3. And the same thing, though. I'm saying where you're, where you can travel, let's say from Provo, Ogden, Salt Lake City. I mean, you're still local to play for a certain different organization to get big. Yeah. And I'm not talking about big organizationally. I'm talking about big as a player that's going to benefit your kid the most. Yeah. We want that here now.
For a lot of reasons. I mean, not just for that aspect, to make Utah known for training hockey players. I mean, you want them to come back and bring a cup here like Trevor Lewis,
Absolutely.
And that's what puts us on the map. It's not the team, of course it's the Utah Hockey Club, but it's what we do as a community, I think, to make those hockey players that go play in the NHL. We want to put ourselves on the map as one of those places where, hey, now we've got kids coming from out of state, like just with the Outliers.
And even at younger age instead of just juniors.
Yep,
and
And we want to help with that in any way that we possibly can.
In all fairness too, in regard with what you just had mentioned, it's we have such a good strong suit hold of college here that if that doesn't work out for them, they can still continuously play college hockey.
Yeah, we've
and let's build that with that as well. If somebody wants to go to college and they want to continue their future in a different manner of direction, go ahead and do it. Yeah. And then you see that bounce a lot. I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah,
and I've seen that with a lot of different players just up north, where it's I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go try to go up here. The college is here. The atmosphere is here, and I want to go to college, and I'm going to go either play at the U or the Weber State, and it's become such a development.
And the ACHA's
through that,
got an amazing program right now too.
Absolutely,
we've got Division II all across. Utah's going Division I. I mean, they've got we've got. It's been around for, and what people don't know, 25, 30 years.
Exactly.
Program. So, it's really amazing that we've got the developmental pieces and the steps here. It's just a matter of we got to polish them up.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I'm really excited about having the Utah Hockey Club here to do, because it's awareness. That's what we need. Is we need someone to get excited and say, "Hey, come on over."
And have things get pushed into play, not pushed, but navigated into play.
At least direct them in the right spots. Instead of because right now, gosh, hats off to these coaches and stuff, here that have been teaching these kids how to play hockey, that are dads, that watch it on TV, that are doing their best. They really have held the torch, so to speak, at the Olympics for so many years. But now we have an opportunity. Yeah, we've got guys looking at coming in from out of state to become youth coaches and to start youth programs, and so it's really amazing to watch all that start to unfold now that the hockey club is here.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because I got filtered into I went to go look up a stick and puck because I took 6 years off.
Yeah,
8 years maybe, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, coach is needed.
He's like, now I'm on a podcast. No.
Next thing I know, I've been coaching 3 years of hockey, and I'm over here like these little turds. And no, it's the most best.
Just shut up and score a goal.
No, it's the best feeling in the world.
Bill, we've got about 6 minutes left. Yeah. Let's hear it. I mean, I know you want to touch on the Utah Warriors.
Yes,
I want you to touch on the Utah Warriors, and I want you to touch on the Utah Hockey Club. Anything you got to say? Any plugs you want to shout out?
Utah Warriors is an all Warriors, all veterans. We call them Warriors. Veterans, retired, active duty. If you were ever in the military, you're welcome on our team.
I would love to get a veteran. I was thinking about that the other day. I want to get a veteran on the show.
Absolutely.
And I'm a veteran.
Well, and there we go. There we
Thank
go.
you for your service.
Mission accomplished.
Nope. Thank you for your service. I mean,
I appreciate it. But,
You're the man.
No, the Utah Warriors, we go play in Vegas once a year, and then we
Yeah.
do community stuff. We go volunteer at the VA. Corey that owns a hockey shop, he plays on one of our teams. So
Yeah.
Corey's very involved. He's the past president of the Utah Warriors. He was on the board. So
thank you.
Corey.
Shout out.
Awesome, yeah.
He served 3 years and did an amazing job with the organization and pushed it. And we got this because of Corey. So the new logos and stuff. And so, so that's the Utah Warriors kind of in a nutshell. We're hoping to do some stuff with the new Utah Hockey Club. I know they're down in Phoenix. They're really into the veterans program. So we're waiting for that call, by the way. So,
Yeah.
Right?
Waiting for that.
I know Corey's waiting on a call too, by the way. UHC. Let's go.
So
Support your
We
local,
got a lot
Ryan.
of people waiting for calls,
Support your local, Ryan.
Me- myself included. Let's go.
So that's the Utah Warriors kind of in a nutshell. Got
Love
some
it.
great people over there. We're always looking to take new members in and new hockey players and
Help the
give
VA.
them
You have a
players.
website. You have a
Absolutely.
website, Facebook
We have a
page,
Facebook
anything
page,
like that.
Utah Warriors Ice Hockey Club. So
Perfect.
so
People
you
can
go
look
check
you
it
up
out
there.
I'm lucky enough to get that jersey then. When I got the opportunity to snag that, I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
Utah Hockey Club.
Utah,
Let's hear it, man.
I'm just
What are you excited about? What do you think?
I-
What are you most excited about?
Who's your team first and foremost?
Ooh,
the Detroit
good
Red
question.
Wings.
Okay, I'm out. Y'all can finish.
You know, that's the
Hey, I had to read that for the PA announcement job,
just
and that
teasing.
was a hard name to read.
You want
I'm
to talk
teasing.
about
Detroit Red Wings.
you want to talk about a struggle? All of us here in Utah that have teams are like,
Yeah.
It's either
Yeah,
Colorado or the
do?
Red Wings.
What do we do?
Are we supposed to be hockey club fans now, or So I'm excited for the team to be here. I back in early spring, there was a lot of buzz around, we're going to get an expansion team. And so we got excited about that, but we knew it was going to be 2 or 3 years away. And we were like, but still it was like, yes, there's hope,
Yeah.
and everybody in the whole crowd, Utah doesn't need a team. They're never getting a team. And then the announcement that the team was coming here, and those of us, and I'm sure you were in the same boat as me. I crapped my pants that day.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
this is my backyard and I got a team coming, and of course,
Everybody's like, what do we do now?
yeah, and that's what's happening. I think everyone's scrambling. Never in the history of hockey have I seen this happen where they bring a team in and they have 6 months to get ready for puck drop. Like,
Oh, that's in the
A lot
that's
of
in
work. It's a lot of work.
I'll be
man.
honest with you,
It
that's
really
in
is.
sports history.
yeah, ever in
Ever.
history.
Yeah.
In all of sports.
Yeah.
All of sports. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things I'm excited about.
Shout out, Ryan.
Me being a hockey nerd. Thank you, Ryan Smith, by the way. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I've thanked him so many times. And
I hope he sees this.
yeah,
podcast.
I've
If
heard
you're
he-
watching this
I've
podcast,
heard he
Ryan.
watches it. So
I hope so.
But so
Much respect.
I think the thing I'm excited about is this is a cup team, and everybody that says,
Oh, without a doubt.
you're
They
just,
are. They
you're
are.
just full of crap." No,
No,
this is
it's
young.
a good team.
Young.
25-year-old.
I got an
cup
interesting.
team.
So
Yes.
So one of
Yes.
Dursey was being interviewed.
Uh-huh.
What's his? I can't remember his first name.
Sean
Dursey.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. He was being interviewed. So the Coyotes were on their way to make the playoffs last year.
They were close.
He said
should've had
when they learned about possibly moving, that's when they went on a 14-game losing streak.
That's crazy.
And that was in their December losing streak, and that's what caused them to fall out of the playoffs.
Well, I
They
mean,
won
you
five
don't
now
want
they're
to.
here.
Yeah, you
Let's
don't want to
go.
know.
So-
You don't want to
Yeah,
know that you're all of a sudden
Yeah.
moving.
Exactly. Well, that puts a damper on the team and
But no,
on
and
everything.
hey, again, we're wrapping up here soon,
Yeah.
but like Dursey said, and you're not wrong, but real quick, you come to an environment from 4,500 to this. Thank you, Ryan Smith.
yes.
Ryan, shout out. I hope you do watch. Thank you,
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah.
You're the man. You're still the cloud above a Mick.
Yeah. Hey,
And
make sure you guys check out the Utah Outliers. They have, great games.
UtahOutliers.com.
UtahOutliers.com. Good plug there. They're great, fun games to attend. They're a lot cheaper than the Utah Hockey Club, right?
Oh, a
But
lot. Just as good of hockey,
yeah,
though.
but
Well,
even if you can't afford it or can't afford it, it's a fun environment to go to. You
and
got to check them out.
help us help you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly.
Subscribe. Click that
We
button.
need that. It helps us go a lot longer to keep these guys doing what they do for the community.
Yep.
So appreciate you all.
And that's
and
a
I
wrap.
appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks, Bill.
This has been
Absolutely.
fun. Hopefully, you have me back. I know
Yes,
we've got
sir.
a lot
Oh,
to
you'll be
talk
back.
about,
You'll be
so-
back.
Yeah, you'll be back. Trust me.
So,
Without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
This has been the Puck Drop Podcast. We'll see you in the preseason.